Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Mike Francesa podcast, part of the Bet Rivers Network. We come to you on this Monday, and I'd like to say hello and clear up a couple of things that have been rampant everywhere over the last 13 days or so. I've been away, obviously. Uh, all you crazies on the internet who came up with every possible reason, including my death, as to why I have been away during this time. It was planned, and let me say a couple of things about that. Number one, uh, I had meetings with the Bet Rivers folks and my whole crew. Went out to dinner with them 2 nights before I went into the hospital for knee replacement surgery, which I did uh, 12 days ago. I want to take a second and thank the doctors, Dr. Haas, who's the best there is in special surgery, my buddy over there, Jeremy, Dr. Kelly's crew, and everybody for being so hospitable to me, treated me great. So thank you to HSS, who are the best in the world at what they do. On the road to recovery, it's not easy. Getting a knee replacement, I had a knee replacement surgery 25 years ago on my left knee. I never wanted to get it again. I never wanted to do it again. I got to a point where I had no choice. The doctors told me it was getting dangerous if I didn't do it. I was bone on bone, and I was starting to. They were worried about infection and different things. So they said, "I know you can live with it, but you can't live with it." Okay, so we decided this a while ago. Uh, all the folks I deal with, the Bet Rivers, including Adam, who'd come in from Chicago, had dinner with us right before the. And the amazing thing was, I decided, you know what? I don't think I'll be out that long, so let's just not say anything. We said nothing. Okay. I was in and out of the hospital. I was only in the hospital overnight. One night, I was home the next day. Now, the first 4 or 5 days, I was not capable of doing anything. I couldn't move much, so I wasn't eating. Hey, when you have this kind of surgery, and hey, they're great at it, but it's still major, major surgery. It's knee replacement, and when you have it, and you're not 30 years old anymore, it knocks you for a loop. This knocked me for a loop. I got to watch everything because I always watch everything, but I mean, that's all I did. So then the craziness started. Jack would say to me, "Dad, they're saying all kinds of crazy things about you on the internet. You got to respond." I said, "Hey, I've gone this far. Let it go." Harrison, Dad, they're going nuts on yeah, look at this one, look at that one, look at and they start sending them to me, okay? And then friends start sending them to me. Then guys in the business start sending them to me. And then guys who are big guys in the business like Barry Watkins say, "You gotta say something. This has gotten crazy. It's gotten silly. You gotta say something." I said, "No, I've gone this far. I'll wait. I'll be back, okay, after the weekend. Let's wait." I told everybody, let's wait. Here's the amazing thing. Everybody special surgery knew I was there. Everybody at Bet Rivers knew I was doing this. My whole crew who came in to have dinner, a steak dinner with me, the night before I went in the hospital, uh, on Long Island, all knew about it. All the Bet Rivers people knew about it. My whole family knew about it. A million of my friends knew about it, and not one person leaked a thing about it. Not one anywhere. They let all the craziness go on and just sent me all the crazy things. A guy who said that my studio was broken and I wouldn't fix it because I was in a dispute with Bet Rivers. I guess he found that out when he came and visited my house while I was in the hospital. I don't know, but that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Number one. Number two, all the way to me being very sick to me dying. Guys were sending me things about me having died. I'm like, hey, I had a good run. I had a nice life. I can't complain, really. I've I've been luckier than almost all of them. So I said, hey, but so it got crazy. We knew we were coming back. We planned this, and I said, listen, I said to Mons, let's go. The morning I'm going to go, we'll promote it. I'll just tweet that I'm coming back at 5, and that's what we did today. And here we go. Now, enough on me. That's all done. Let's get to the stuff going on. I know there's a lot that's happened you want to get to. Obviously, you can't bury the headline, which is the Mets. And frankly, it was tough staying away, even though I was not in shape to be on video, to be honest with you, when I first got the surgery. Because, you get beat up and you haven't eaten and you're dehydrated and everything else. So my wife wouldn't let me go on, to be honest with you. She wouldn't let me go on video. Um, I did a couple of birthday wishes from the couch, but that was for people that I know. Uh, the bottom line is, it was tempting. When the Knicks played so badly and got beat in game 3, it was tempting because I knew how crazy people were, and everyone was the guys who, are Nick nuts, like my buddy Josh Brown or Safdie or any of the crazies who just go nuts every time the Knicks lose. They would tweet me saying, "Take me through this. What's going on? What's gonna happen? What's gonna" I said, "Listen, calm down, calm down. Get the ball to Towns, get it inside, okay? Stop the transition nonsense. Shut down Johnson, and you'll be fine." And you saw how good they looked in game 4. They're gonna win game 5. They could lose game 6 if Atlanta shoots the eyes out, but I doubt it. But if they do, the Knicks will win in 7. I mean, the series shouldn't have gone 7, but Cleveland shouldn't be in the series they're in Toronto right now either. And the Celtics look good. The Celtics look good because they can have games like last night when they hit 100 threes. And I love Pritchard as my favorite player. I mean, that's my favorite player. I love watching that guy play basketball. Love it. Absolutely. Come off the bench, get 32 points. I mean, it's just crazy. It's just, I love the way that team is built. I don't love the 3. And I'd agree tomorrow to cancel a 3, take the 3 out of the game. It makes the game so much better. But the way the Celtics do it, it is really smart. And Tatum has looked good. So it's going to be very interesting what happens in the East. We'll get into the Knicks tomorrow. We'll do a podcast after tomorrow night's game. Obviously, the pivotal game 5, New York, the whole thing. Now, let's get to the Mets. I know everybody has been on Met Watch all day today, and nothing has happened. Cohen has been, it seems to me, extremely quiet. I didn't expect much out of Stearns. They have major issues now. I don't know when they can get Polanco healthy. Lindor, from what I understand, has the worst kind of calf injury that you can have as far as having a calf pull, that he could be out legitimately 2 months. We're talking about him being in a boot from 3 to 4 weeks before they even reassess. You're looking at least a 2-month injury for him. That's a terrible loss for this team right now with what's going on. But this is where Cone, who wanted to come here, who obviously has made a king's ransom on Wall Street, has made money that people can't even dream of. He wanted to be a big player. He wanted to be the big guy in town. He also wanted his hotel and his casino and his soccer stadium and everything he wants to do over there, and they're already building, so you know what's coming there. No one ever worried about his bankroll. No one ever worried about him making money. He's proved how much money he knows how to make. What he hasn't proved is he doesn't know how to build a baseball team. And this is what those Wall Street wizards seem to forget. They look at sports, whether it's him or Tepper, and they say, child's play. I mean, come on. Novices. We're businessmen. These guys are mere novices playing with a bag of shells. And they come over and they can't win. They can't find the secret. They can't hire the right people. They can't show the right temperament, and they can't win. Cohen talked about how he'd win this quickly. Hasn't happened. Tepper talked like that too. Hasn't happened. Because it's not easy, and it's an incredibly competitive world that major sports lives in. And money doesn't guarantee you victories, because line up right now the payrolls and line up the standings. And you see what's going on with prominent teams, okay? Not the Dodgers, who have found a better way. The Yankees are looking fine. They bring Dominguez up. They should have. They should. Now with Stanton on the shelf, he can get some at bats. You just don't wanna sit him on the bench and not play him. The Yankees have power and they have pitching and they're in very good shape. Although it doesn't mean they're gonna win in October. I think it means they're gonna get to October. It means they're gonna own the summer here. And if the Mets don't play their cards right, the Yankees will be playing in front of full houses every day in August, and you'll be having archery practice at Citi Field because that's where this is headed. And if you don't see that it's headed there, then you don't understand what you're watching. And that's why not to hear from Cohen today. Now, listen, nobody's trying to run anybody out of their job. Nobody likes taking anybody out of their job. I don't know Mendoza except to say hello to. I've never had a conversation with him. I don't think I've ever interviewed him. I've heard nothing but from people I know in baseball and know on that Yankee team, and I know just about everybody on that Yankee team. They all love the guy. The guys I know who know him well, I know a couple of them. They say he's the best guy in the world. I think the players like him. This is not an indictment of his baseball knowledge. This is not an indictment of his personality. Is it an indictment of his ability to lead? Yeah, he's soft. He's soft, and he doesn't have a big enough personality to run that room. I'm sorry, he doesn't. But when you see your manager come out in this town after you've lost this many games and you're trying to save your season and save your fan base, and you see him not have an idea even how to answer a question, then you as an owner, unless you are completely clueless or completely gutless, you have to make a change. I'm not trying to do anything. All I'm doing is putting Mendoza out of his misery. It is over for him. They need a change of scenery, and they have been given a gift, an absolute gift. And when a gift just comes down from the heavens and smacks you right in the face, and you aren't even aware of it, and if you're Stearns and you think this somehow cuts into your authority, tough luck. You have basically had 2 bites at the apple, 1 more bite at the apple, and you're gonna be somewhere else working. You're gonna be doing this silent act somewhere else. Because so far you have been dreadful. And you haven't been dreadful once now, you've been dreadful twice. You already see things that aren't working. You brought in the wrong guys here in spot after spot. And I'm not talking about Bichette. Bichette's gonna be fine. Bichette's your typical guy who's a really good player. First of all, it's been incredibly cold. The weather has stunk. And a lot of guys don't like it. And I think he looks to me to be one of those guys. Now, I never studied him every day, but I watched him a lot when I saw him in big spots in big games against the Yankees, and he is a stone hitter. And he is going to hit fine. He is just trying to come to a new town, figure out what's going on, play a new position, and and justify a contract that he's embarrassed by. We have seen that from Roger Clemens. We have seen that from Mike Piazza. We have seen that from so many guys that it's almost automatic in this town that that happens. Don't worry about him. I don't know what to make of Polanco yet because I can't get him on the field. I think he's always been a clutch hitter. He's always been a dangerous hitter. I think he'll hit, but he's got major he's got a wrist injury, he's got an Achilles injury. I don't know when he's gonna play. This was badly conceived, but here's the bottom line. You came home. You showed a little patience. And then you played this weekend against a terrible team that was 3-10 on the road, which is one of the worst teams in baseball. And you get swept at home. You've lost 15 of 17. You are about to have the fan base cash in on your season. Your manager comes out and meets the media in the biggest city in the world and doesn't even know what to say. He is a guy who, if things were running great, his personality and who he is borderline. And then the Red Sox, and I don't know why. I haven't paid attention to what's going on with the Red Sox. I don't care what's going on with the Red Sox, but they give you a chance to hire one of the great managers in baseball. I think the second best manager. Now, to me, you guys know what I think of Francona. I don't have to make any statements about Francona. Just look at the record. Francona is one of the greatest managers in baseball history. Yes, he's a friend. I don't care, but that doesn't matter. Just look at the record. Look what he's done already in Cincinnati. Look what he did everywhere he's ever been. The guy's brilliant. But right behind Francona is Cora. You have a chance here. This is an Andy Reid, Kansas City situation. And I hear today, well, Cora's not going to take the job. First of all, how do you know that? Secondly, Cora's not going to come into this mess. You're not bringing Cora in here so that he tries to win this year. I don't know if he can win this year. I don't know if he can scrape this thing together this year. Bring Cora in here for the next 10 years. You have a chance to hire in his prime as a manager. He's 50 years of age. One of the top managers in all of baseball. So what? He makes $7 million. I don't care if Cohn pays him $15 a year. I don't give a damn what he pays him. Doesn't count against you anywhere. It's cab fare for Cohn. Go get your manager. They dropped him from the heavens. They put him on your doorstep. What the hell do you need to do? It bit you on the nose and you can't even do it. Are you that clueless? Forget Stearns. Take Stearns out of the equation. This is about the owner. This is where the owner stands up. This is where you play George. You got a chance to play George. You got a chance to play the back page. This is why you bought the damn team. This is what that and the gambling that you wanted over there with your hotel. To be a big shot. To show the fans that you can deliver. Then give them the manager they need. He's right there. He's home waiting for your call. Hire him. Bring him in here. If he wants to come in tomorrow, bring him in tomorrow. If he wants to come in June 1st, bring him in June 1st. And hire an interim manager there. Put this manager out of his misery. Put anybody you want. Put Mr. Met in a thing for a month if you want before Cora comes. I don't care. Put Jay in there for a month if you want. Jay Horowitz. He'll do it. I don't care who you put in there for a month or 2 weeks or how long it takes Cora to get here. Just get Cora here. Forget anybody else you were thinking about. Forget any young guy you liked. Forget Beltran. You have a chance to hire a generational manager. He is right there. You're going to wait till the Phillies hire him? Because they're going to hire him. They're going to hire him. I don't know if it'll be tomorrow. I don't know if it'll be next week. I don't know if it'll be next month, but they're going to hire him. If you don't hire him. This guy's going to have 5 job offers by next April. The only teams that he won't be dealing with are the teams that say, I can't pay a manager that much money. Otherwise, why wouldn't you hire him? And if you don't see, and this is not to, I'm not talking to Stearns right now, because Stearns isn't going anywhere. Stearns, his job is to try and fix the mess he created. Cohen waited 2 years to get Stearns. He paid him a lot of money to come here. Obviously, we all know what went on with Theo. Okay. He wasn't going to give Theo ownership of the team. He got Stearns. He's given Stearns his chance. Fine. Let Stearns continue to play with the team. Maybe it's going to get better. Maybe he's going to blow it up. The bottom line is, this is about the owner. This is about, this is owner time in this town. And that's what Cohen obviously doesn't understand about this town. And it's what a lot of people don't understand often about this town. And George did. There are times when the only voice that matters is the owner's, where the owner has to stand up and say, "Folks, I will fix this. I understand it. I can't live with it. Your fan base right now can't deal with this. For 2 weeks, you have put forth the worst offensive product I believe I have ever seen in all the years I've been watching baseball, which goes back to the days of 1961. I have not seen a team more impotent with more poor at bats. Look at the first inning against Quintana yesterday as a perfect example. How did they not score in that inning? Because you got stiffs in the middle of the lineup. You got people who don't even know which end is up right now. And listen, I'm not blaming this on Mendoza. He has tried with a limited roster. He had Soto hurt, then he had Lindor hurt. He has tried to build the confidence of guys like Vientos, who has been awful. And I've protected Vientos. I can't protect him anymore. I have said give him a chance. I can't compete for him anymore. I can't defend him anymore. I can't say anything nice about him anymore. You got to play better. Well, you can't play here. And it goes for all those guys. If you can't play better, don't play. You can't play here. This is New York. This is a team that's trying to win things. And it is an utter embarrassment. And you know what that means? That means you obviously get rid of Pham. And Pham just got old. Okay? He used to hit, he got old. Get rid of Senga. If Senga won't go to the minor leagues, get rid of him. Buy him out. You think he's going to do anything out of the bullpen? Get rid of him. Make an example out of him. Play hardball. Understand what your job is to step up as an owner and lead, not hide. Lead. You're going to make Mendoza face this tomorrow? And then come out what after a loss tomorrow night and face the same nonsense again and again? How many times do you think your fan base is going to take this? They are not. This is New York. I don't remember on a sunny day ever seeing fewer people in Citi Field for a one admission doubleheader, which is one of the only values that fans who have to worry about a buck getting an entire year, and they didn't have anybody in the ballpark. Nobody was in the ballpark. I don't care what they announced. There wasn't 1/3 of what they announced in the ballpark yesterday. Not 1/3. And listen, you have the Mets have tremendous announcers. They have the best TV booth. I know Keith's been out. I know he got surgery, and I wish him well. I think it's back surgery, if I remember. And he's not back yet. I thought when he said he would be back in early April, he put a date in April. I was like, that's pretty fast for a back, man. And now I know he's coming back sometime in early May. Wish him well. Make sure you're healthy before you come back. But you have Gary Cohen, who's a very smart announcer. You have in Howie Rose a very smart and very credible announcer, just like Gary. You have in Ron Darling a tremendously, experienced, smart baseball player / announcer. And all these guys didn't want to go out and say it, but they were saying it. There has to be changes. This cannot continue. You have now lost 15 of 17. You cannot gut this season this early. This was a team that was one of the top 3 favorites. Dodgers, Yankees, Mets. Those were the 3 teams at the top of the win totals this year. Now, I know they were both far off the Dodgers. The Dodgers were over 100. The Yankees and Mets were like both 90.5, right around there. Yankees have been better than that, obviously. The Mets have been putrid, embarrassing. you know, nauseating. And that is, listen, you can use any word you want. Non-competitive. I have never seen a team look like this, and this cannot go on. And this isn't a time for Stearns. No one wants to hear from Stearns. No one thinks Stearns is going anywhere. And if getting rid of Mendoza, if the argument is, well, you're hurting the Stearns plan, or you're taking a shot at Stearns by getting rid of his guy, garbage. The Mets were awful last season. Over the You saw the record, they're 40 and 75 in their last 115 games or whatever it is. Who cares? The bottom line is this started last year when he did nothing to put together a rotation and he couldn't get a guy to finish the 5th inning. When they don't win either of McLean starts this week, especially when he has a 3-0 lead, and they don't build on that to start the homestand, and then get beat 3 games as they did, and score as few runs and leave as many men on base, and not even score a run with base loaded, no out, and 1 out, and no out, and time after time after time. They don't hit a hard hit ball. I mean, it's just embarrassing. It's past embarrassing. But this is about Cone. You wanted this spotlight. You wanted this position. You wanted this role in this town. Then stand up, put your shoulders back, and do what has to be done. Don't run away and hide. That's gutless. I know it starts with G like George, but it's the opposite of what George would do. Completely. And George wasn't perfect. George was half nuts. He spent, many years in exile, as we know. He was out of his mind. But he understood the moment. And he understood his fan base. And you look like you don't have an idea. Or the gumption and the nerve to do what has to be done. So just do it and move on. You got a gift that's hitting you right in the nose. Make the moves that have to be made and put this show back on the road. It isn't even May yet. You're giving up? Are you giving up in May? And yes, you can say, oh, teams have come back from 9 and 19. Of course they have. You think this team? We've all been watching baseball a long time. You think this group is going to put this together with their second best player on the shelf probably for 2 months? With what's going on right now in every part of this team. You know what I felt about the closer you brought in. I hated him with the Yankees last year. I hated him. I hated the sight of him. And now Met fans hate the sight of him. Hey, you have to make your move. Sometimes there is no other option. There is no other option this time. There is no other option. You have got to react to what has gone on. You cannot let this fester any longer. And the fact that it wasn't done today is just more embarrassment on top of the embarrassment we have seen day after day after day in the last couple of weeks. Now, as for the Yankees, I don't really have much to say. What are you going to say about them being 18 and 10? They can pitch. They're going to get more pitchers back. They can hit, and not everybody's even hitting yet. Rice, who doesn't have a position and who is a DH, is one of the best left-handed hitters in baseball right now. Judge, what are you going to say? They're going to be fine. Does that mean they're going to win when everything's on the line? No, it doesn't. They'll answer that question when they get there, but they will get there. So you will have your sunny summer. You will have your August afternoons when there's 48,000 and 45,000 in the ballpark. You will have big crowds and home runs and power pitching, and then you'll see if you can win in the playoffs and finally do what this team needs to do, and that is win a championship. Let me get to the draft for a couple of minutes here. Now, one thing about the draft to remember is this: everybody loves what they do in the draft. Okay. The draft is where bad teams shine because they get top picks. So all of a sudden, oh man, we just turned our franchise around. Well, we all know they go back there year after year after year and they don't turn their franchise around. This was a very weird draft. There was one quarterback who was going off the board first. There were not a lot of quarterbacks. It was an incredibly weak draft. There was not a lot of depth in this draft, and there were probably 12 really good players, maybe 15. Maybe there's a sleeper in there we don't know about. I always give you 2 players that I like. Okay. Last year it was Warren, and it was a little running back who was on his way to big things before he got hurt last year. And lucky enough is in the Giant backfield. And Warren had a great year as a tight end, obviously, for the Colts. This year it was Caleb Downs, who everybody jumped on the bandwagon, and I almost didn't want to say anything about him because everybody. I watched the draft stuff. I watched everything. So I mean, I can't go anywhere, so I can't do anything. So I watched everything. I watched more draft coverage this year than I watched forever. And Downs to me is a guy who's going to be a future Hall of Famer. That's what he is. He's smart. He's a leader. He doesn't miss assignments. Now, I understand what the Giants did. I know some people were disappointed they didn't take him. The Giants get a guy dropped to him the first time, and recently they didn't know he was going to come to drop to 5 because Tate going 4. And I'll tell you something: people knock Tate wrong. He's really good. Yes, he has always been the second banana, and the guy opposite him got double teamed all the time, and he didn't. But he's a very classy looking receiver, and if you haven't seen enough classy receivers out of Ohio State, then I don't know what sport you're watching. He will be very good. Taking him was not a problem. What they had to decide with a safety is how are they going to play the safety? Are they going to bring him to the line of scrimmage? Are they not going to bring him to the line of scrimmage? Are they going to make him play in coverage? Are they going to? How are they going to utilize his wondrous talents? And he's like one of those knives that's got a whole bunch of different options on it. Well, that's what he is. So you can play him in a variety of ways. So the Giants went with power. They got themselves a good offensive lineman. They helped the offensive line. They helped the quarterback. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with their draft. I have no problem with the Notre Dame wide receiver. You know why? Because he catches everything. I like receivers who catch everything. He catches everything. I like productive players. He's a productive player. As for the Jets, hey, they had a really good draft. They should have a really good draft. Look what they're drafting. But they had a really good draft. They took players from winning schools. They took players of teams that were all ranked in the top 5 last year, and obviously 2 players from the national championship team. Bailey is a flat-out pass rusher. He's a very bright kid, Stanford guy, obviously, who went to Texas Tech to put his numbers together so he could get taken in the top 5. He lived across the street from the stadium. He went there on a business trip, and it paid out for him. So good for him. I love Sadiq. The question I would have is, when you give the Jets that kind of instrument, that's like giving the Jets a Maserati and saying, "Hey, can you drive this? You understand what this thing is about, right?" There's a lot of gears on this thing. This kid is a nightmare. He is way too strong for any nickel to cover him. He is a way too fast for any linebacker to cover him. He is a nightmare matchup. Who catches the ball, who runs after the catch, who is a good blocker, who is a willing blocker, a freak athlete who put up as in a combination as good a numbers as anybody's ever seen a tight end at the combines. This is a really, I mean, this is a pick that this kid in the hands of an Andy Reid would be freakish. Reich, I have respect for Frank Reich. Let's see that they can utilize him. Cooper to me is a really good wide receiver. Made the biggest catch of the year, saved the season for Indiana, scores touchdowns. Like him, like Pons, winning players, come from well-coached programs. I like all that. I have no now they have to prove that they can utilize the weapons they just drafted. Not a Geno Smith fan, we know that. A lot of pressure on Aaron Glenn to be better, to coach his staff better, to game plan better. Now they have to do that. Muji did his job. He has taken a leadership position. He did his job. Can't knock anything he did. Can't knock his maneuverings. Have no problem with it. The Clemson quarterback is backup. They did really well. Now they have to do what bad teams struggle to do, and that is to take what they got in the draft and turn it into good players. You've seen plenty of bad teams draft really good players, and then they just don't win. And they don't develop the players the way you hoped they would develop the players. But the Giants, solid. The Jets, solid. But here's the difference. The Giants, under Harbaugh, are now a legitimate football organization again. They are a real, bona fide football organization. That has been a long time coming. For those of us who lived through many, many decades, who lived through many great halcyon years with the Giants, the Parcells years, the Coughlin years, to see them be a football organization again is heartwarming, and they are now. They have a leader. They have a real football leader. They have a no-nonsense guy. You're gonna find that out. The players are gonna find that out. The players are finding that out already. This is now a football organization, and that's been a long, long time coming. I will save my, Knicks stuff because game 4 is already in the bank. You played the game and won the game that had to be won. Obviously, in these series, game 5 is pivotal. Uh, I'll be with you after the game tomorrow night. Do I expect the Knicks to win? I do. The Knicks have some advantages here. There are some things with them that aren't going well. I think there's a couple of things that have to be done to ensure victory tomorrow. Number 1, Brunson has to be more of a playmaker in the series. Just let it happen. Number 2, Towns has nobody who can guard him in this series. While Atlanta has length at certain positions, they don't have any size with their center out. Towns can do whatever he wants. He can get to the foul line. He can get inside and get dunks and layups. He can make those crazy moves to the basket. He can do anything he wants to do, and he needs to do it, and he will do it in this game. The Bridges thing is more of a conversation that has really gone off the tracks, and I think that's a real slight for Brown, and it could be something that really pays on his future here in that he didn't fix that in the regular season when he should have, and he let it fester into the season, into the off season, and it is an issue. OG Anunoby plays unbelievably. Hart's defense and rebounding, although he can't make a shot, um, but they'll be okay. They'll be okay. We'll be with you tomorrow night after the game. Couple of things. Number one, I don't recommend a lot of documentaries. There's a million of them out there. There's one out there now on Jerry West, and this is for the young guys in the audience and the old guys in the audience, the guys who know about Jerry West and the guys who don't know about Jerry West. It's called The Logo because, as you know, the NBA logo is Jerry West. That's always everyone always knows that. I mean, I would think even the young guys know that the logo is Jerry West. But if you don't understand Jerry West's impact on basketball and the interesting aspects of Jerry's life, Jerry, Mr. Clutch, Zeke from Cabin Creek, okay, the epitome of a basketball player. When you have Michael Jordan say, the one thing I regret is that I did not get to go up against Jerry West. Some of the matchups that I love the most that I've watched in my whole life in basketball were the matchups between Jerry West and Havlicek in the playoffs. They were unbelievable. And Jerry West would play his heart out to where it was broken, to where he'd win MVP as a loser, although they don't do that anymore for marketing reasons, but to where he did. And the Celtics would always find a way to win. Even he and Elgin Baylor, of course, and then later when they lost with Wilt in '69, which they shouldn't have, and then obviously when they did win, and they did win the championship, they didn't even win it over the Celtics, they won it over the Knicks with the great 71-72 team. Watch The Logo. It is an incredible everyone who has watched it has said to me, "I cannot believe how good." I've had people come back to me who are, players, coaches, guys in the business, the whole thing, that's the best sports documentary they've ever seen. It is that compelling, and if you're young, take a history lesson with Jerry West because he's that important to the game of basketball. The Logo. Forget game 4 where somebody called it a snow day for the Lakers. I didn't think the Lakers would even give it an effort last night. I thought the Rockets would win by 25. Even though they have no point guard and they have no offense, I thought they'd win because the Lakers stole game 3. They won a game they never had a right to win. But LeBron played 45 minutes that night at this age. And I watched him that night and said, I don't think I'll ever see anybody do this again. Now, this doesn't mean that LeBron's better than Jordan. He's not. They're different. They're very different players. But for him to be in this kind of shape and to be able to give that kind of effort and to go 45 minutes in a postseason game at this age. That's why I knew he'd have nothing last night. And last night he might have had the worst playoff game of his career. He was 2 for 9 with 8 turnovers, which I expected. I won't get on St. John's yet because they're still waiting on players. I thought by the time I came on today, they might have an announcement. They didn't. I will close where I opened. First, it's good to be back. My demise was greatly exaggerated, thankfully. We will be with you this week. I will try to win another. Now, listen, I've won a lot of derbies in a row. The Derby is my favorite race. I have made big balloons on the Derby in my life many times. I told you many times, rarely do I ever make a buck on the Breeders' Cup in my whole life. I kill a Derby. I have won 5 straight Derbies. I have given you those picks. I will try and do it again. I liked Renegade. He now got the one. I will go over everything. I haven't done all my work yet, but I I think that's a deal breaker. I think it's impossible for him, who is a closer to deep closer, to win from the one. Willie Shoemaker did it with Ferdinand. It is impossible to do. It is really very, very hard to do. In that kind of traffic, in that kind of field, with horses tiring and getting blind switched left and right, it's going to take an incredible ride. There are a lot of live horses. Cox has got live horses. Mott has got live horses. Riley Mott has got live horses. Mott has a live horse. Very, very lightly raced, but incredibly talented. And he has talked him up pretty big, which is unusual for Bill. When Bill Mott talks his horse up, beware. He doesn't do it often. He has talked up Chief Wallaby here off his sensational works. He says he has a world of talent. Let me close where I opened. This is for the Met owner. Get off your rear end and do what has to be done. We'll see you tomorrow.